But let's go back a little bit and talk a little more about Trapped in a Video Game. Not the book itself, but the experience of publishing. You said it was up for about a month and a half, just sitting there, not doing anything, and then the Amazon algorithms caught up to it, and you started to sell. What do you think it is that changed?
Well, so it wasn't doing nothing. It was selling, maybe one a day or one every other day, and then it would kind of climb up to two a day and things like that. So I do think it kind of started showing up, and customers also bought, and that's where I started getting things. And then also the keywords that I was bidding on Amazon ads. So nobody really knows how Amazon ads work, but my theory is kind of Amazon, when you start a campaign, is going to shoot out those keywords and spend through money like crazy. And then they see how it performs, because they don't want to show a bunch of, they have limited space in front of customers. So they're not going to show a book, even if people are willing to spend a lot, if that book isn't selling well. So compared to how many views per how many people click on it versus how many people buy it. So I think that, going forward, at least I know that Trapped in a Video Game performs unbelievable on Amazon ads. And so I think that it really kind of caught on that algorithm too, where, it was a higher than normal number of people that saw the ad, were clicking on it, and then were going ahead and buying it. So they were showing that more. Once people bought for a keyword, so say there was a keyword, books for boys or something like that. Once people start buying the book for that, even if they're buying it through a link that they clicked on it, that's an ad, that still counts in Amazon's algorithm. And so it'll start to, the book, in my experience, starts to appear higher and higher in organic search as well. What I believe happened, again, nobody knows for sure, but I've been studying this for my Amazon business, and then again for the books, that, as it happened, it started climbing in those Amazon ads, it started getting better placement in Amazon ads, and also started getting better placement in the organic search results for keywords that, were connecting with my audience. And then it also started getting put into customers also bought for similar books. And now listen, that is not easy to do, and I haven't duplicated it for Layla and Nugget for other books I've worked on. But it is pretty magical once it starts working, because Amazon just starts selling it on its own.
So yeah, no, talk nerdy to me some more. This is what esteemed audience tunes in for. They're looking for this. So when you're going in to pick your keywords, are you individually going through and picking your keywords? Are you just letting Amazon choose them for you and do its thing?
Yeah, so I do both. I don't, when I first started, I tried, or I looked at the Amazon suggested keywords, because you can pick automatic keywords, which if you are just an indie author, you can't see what keywords they're picking, which I don't find super helpful. But you can also, when you're picking manual keywords, you can let Amazon pick them and just see what it picks. And so the first time I did that, I looked at their keywords. I'm like, we're not doing this, because it's picking keywords like books, or like the word for, FOR, and like, I don't know, stuff like that. And so I didn't. But since then, I've run a campaign with those, and they perform a lot better than you would think. So I don't know why. But at the beginning, especially, I picked keywords that I thought. So what I did, again, this is very nerdy, but if you say this esteemed audience is up for it. So
what we're living for, baby.
So I would start to type in, I would get an idea for a keyword, and start to type it in. So let's say, books, for, and so start typing in books for kids. And so when you're typing in books for kids, it'll autofill books for kids, 9 to 12 books for kids. And so then just using all those autofill suggestions, because those are things that people search for. And now all those autofill suggestions are also mine. And sometimes I might dig 2 or 3 deep on those, where I'll take one of those. And sometimes I'll just type books for, and then see what it suggests, and then start type A, B, C, and go through. So things like that I did. And then again, putting all those up and just seeing which one of those delivers results, which one of them don't. Going through books, the customers also bought books, and then going through their customers also bought. I got a lot of keywords through that way. And again, using authors and titles and anything I can think of. And then again, just throwing anything out there, video game related terms, toy related terms, things like that. And then finally, I did maybe a year into it, get KDP Rocket, which is a tool that if you put in maybe an author name or a book name, it'll spit back a bunch of results. And so I've used that, and that does help. And, so I've taken all those different things, put them in. And again, the nice things with Amazon ads, you could throw everything at it, and Amazon's pretty good at figuring out what's going to work. Because they really want to spend your money. So they'll figure out what they spend through stuff really quick, figure out what's going to work. And then they go from there. So, you can throw a bunch at the wall and see what sticks. And then stuff that sticks, take that and kind of build off of that and think through different ideas from stuff that sticks.
So do you set like a daily budget, monthly budget? What do you recommend, and where do you set your bids?
Right. So, again, it's whatever you're most comfortable with. For me, it's probably, I want to see if it's doing well. And for me, if it's break even, if I calculate out to something that's break even, which is usually like 30%, whatever the metric they give you is, but if it's around 30%, that's about break even, because I know different future books in the series people go on and buy and things like that. So if it's break even, like, spend my money. I put the daily budget for a lot of my campaigns is $1,000 because I want them to spend as much as possible, and they never spend $1,000, or they haven't yet. But if they did, I'm fine with that, because I know for every dollar I spend, I'm going to make $1.50 or whatever. So I set it real high, and I usually, the bids, I'll start them out 25, 30 cents. And then sometimes, if it's spending through a lot, but it's not giving a lot of sales, I'll experiment with putting it down. I'll have bids that are as low as 5 cents or 10 cents for a really popular keyword that's not quite related to my book, but does deliver some sales. And then occasionally, depending on the type of ad and things like that, I'll even go up a little bit. And again, I'll just, I'll look at it. I'm not as diligent as I should be about going back every day or all the time and seeing how things play out. I just want to get things that are roughly good enough without me having to put a lot of hours into them every day, and just letting them run it and go from there.
So how much time are you spending typically on a day just on Amazon ads?
Now, like, hardly any time. I mean, I'll check in once a week for a little bit. And I know a lot of people put a lot more time in, and I would probably get better results if I did put more time in. It's just, I'll check in every morning for 15 minutes or 30 minutes or so when I'm starting them, to see how things are performing, adjusting bids, and maybe adding and subtracting keywords and things like that. But for my goal is I want to get it up and running, and then go from there. Amazon ads also, for me right now, I've kind of found are good at predicting how well a book is going to do. So Trapped in a Video Game just organically performs really well. It just really connects with an audience. And so the Amazon ads perform really well, and I don't have to work too hard to get my costs down for those. But, Layla and Nugget, it connects okay. Like, the books perform okay. And so those ads, they just perform okay. I have to work a little bit harder to get them to make money and things like that. And then I've had other books that's just, I've tried and it's, it's not working. And so just like, I'll forget it. And it, I don't have to put much more effort and time into the series. It was fun to write the series and it was good, but it's just not connecting on Amazon right now. And so, it gives me a piece to like walk away and not bash my head against the wall. And I guess maybe that's an advertisement for writing more books, so you get more to work with, and you're not putting all your hopes on one book or one series. But for me, that's kind of the deal there. So if something's not performing that well, I'll just turn the ads off or turn the daily bids real low. And if something is performing really well, I'll put a lot more time into the series, and more time into creating more ads and things like that.
Well, that makes sense.
And then, are you with the series? Are you advertising or running different separate campaigns for every book in the series? Are you focusing your efforts on book one and counting on book one to get people hooked enough to keep going?
Yeah, so I do. If I'm just advertising one book, I will just advertise book one. I've tried advertising book two in the series to disastrous results. Even the Layla and Nugget book two, it's not a continuing story. I've tried book two and it just doesn't work as well because people see two and they assume they need book one. There is a different type of ad, and it's available to publishers. And so my publisher started running it, and I was trying to figure out if there's a way I could run it for my indie books. And there's like a little bit of a backdoor way to get in to it. And you can find that online, and I kind of forget exactly how I did it. But you can run series ads. So Amazon has these banners up top where you can, I forget the exact name for it, but there's a series of books. If you have a series of books, you can advertise all three of them. So I do run those for Layla and Nugget, and they perform okay. During like Christmas, they perform really, really well. But during the year, I really dial back the spend on that because it just performs okay. But that is something else that I've done, and for a series is a good way to go.